Hello there, crafty doer. Jessica Michaels here from the Crafty Doings for a cherry on top and February's YouTube hop. This month's theme is Hobbies You Love, and I love mixed media. So in this video, I'm going to create a mixed media tag. Don't forget to hop along and comment at each team member's project for your chance to win a gift card to a cherry on top. Grab a comfy chair, grab all your crafty things, and let's get into the crafty doings. For this project, I will be using Visionaries collection by Memory Place. This collection sold out fairly quickly, I have to say, and so I'm hoping that a cherry on top will restock it if they are able to. But if you are looking to create a similar paper project, I can recommend Nostalgic Memories with 49 and Market by Dennis Bruton. There's some really good pieces in there that would work very well for this vibe. Also, any of the Tim Holtz Ideology ephemera, you can find pieces in there that would also work very well to recreate this vibe. I am going to use Tim Holtz's Entomology stamp. He has this very awesome script stamp that works very well for mixed media backgrounds. So I'm going to begin by horizontally and vertically lightly stamping the script stamp onto my tag using a permanent ink so that when I use other mixed media, it will not smudge. For the second layer to my mixed media tag, I'm going to be using Ranger's Opaque Matte Texture Paste and Tim Holtz's Mixed Media number 21 stencil, the bottom alpha design. There are two things I like to do when I add stenciling to my paper projects. For a distress look, I only partially stencil the tag. And then when I'm done, I like to use my palette knife to scrape the edges to the stencil so that it looks imperfect. For the third layer to my mixed media tag, I'm going to use Distress Spray Stain. I grabbed Speckled Egg, Salvaged Patina, Rusty Hinge, and Vintage Photo. I don't often put a paper towel under my tags or mixed media paper projects, but because I pulled aside a few of the pattern paper from the collection to the side for inspiration, I want to avoid getting any of that ink onto there. I start off towards the edges with the darker colors and use the lighter colors in the center. Then I spray some water and begin to dry. I repeat this process quite a few times until I'm happy with what I see. Once I dried the final layer of spray stain on my tag, I add some droplets of water. Some areas get heavier droplets than others, so I'm going to simply grab a paintbrush and collect that water on it and splatter it in other areas. I'm taking the nozzle out of the Rusty Hinge spray stain bottle to add it to the edges where Rusty Hinge is heavy on the tag. This will give the tag the look of a rusty hinge. I'm also going to use a paintbrush to move that ink around the tag where I want it to. This gives me more control versus respraying the areas where I would like to see more of that color. I'm going to ink blend cold brew to the edges of my tag, which is a new color by 49 and mark it. This gives the tag some more depth. I'm also going to use Distress Archival ink in Speckled Egg to ink blend right on top of where you see the speckled egg. The reason why I used Archival ink versus the oxide or distress ink is because it is a permanent ink. So when I add droplets of water on top of my ink blending, nothing will happen. You can see the difference between using the water on top of the archival ink versus on top of the 49 and a market. It has no reaction, which is exactly what I wanted. Keeping the speckled egg bright. Using a sponge brush, I'm going to pick up some Dilutions white paint and very lightly brush it on top of the texture paste. This will highlight the stencil design. If you are new to mixed media, all of these steps might seem a little bit overwhelming. Do not let it get to you. All of the layers are totally worth it. And I say that because I can completely stop right now, but for an extra layer of texture and fun, I'm adding this very cool machine stitch. I fussy cut some ephemera from one of the sheets from the paper pad that I don't end up using. In fact, what I end up using is pieces from the actual ephemera packet and one of the bugs from Tim Holtz's Entomology stamp set and dye. I will ink blend that cold brew dye ink to the edges of my ephemera to help it all come together before adhering it with a cherry foam tape. No mixed media project is complete without splatter, and my go-to is Dina Wakley's White Gloss Spray. I simply take the nozzle out of the bottle and tap it where I want to add some splatter to my project. The very last thing I end up doing is rearranging the ephemera on the tag just a little bit, which you will be able to see at the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. I truly hope you were inspired today to get your fingers inky and try some mixed media. To get more mixed media tips, tricks, encouragement, and inspiration, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hop along and leave a comment at each video for your chance to win a gift card to a cherry on top. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next crafty doing.